Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Teveron here, and welcome to Not Friday Night Magic. We'll call this Magic Monday, I suppose. The truth is, I've just been playing some Magic Duels and had tuned up a deck that I'm having a lot of fun with and quite a bit of success with, and I wanted to share it with you guys. The deck is an Abzan control deck, so we're just going to go quickly through the list and then through a few games, just depending on how long they are, and hopefully y'all will enjoy this. We're using 3 Bone Splinters, 4 Perilous Myr, 4 Gatecreeper Vine, 4 Elvish Visionary, 2 Evolutionary Leap, 1 Liliana Heretical Healer, 3 Felshbag Marauders, 1 Nissa Vastwood Seer, 1 Relcaimation Sage with the Woodland Bellower fetch up type interaction there, 2 Frome Beyond. I've been really impressed with this spell, not only for the producing 1/1s, but for searching up the couple of Eldrazi that we're running, 2 Languish, 1 Gideon, ally of Zendikar, 2 Planar Outburst, 1 Ob Nixilis Reignited, 1 Greenwarden of Murasa. One thing to be aware of, unless they have fixed it, this guy's, when Greenwarden dies, you can exile it and return target card from your graveyard to your hand. That does not work. So if you're playing with this and he dies, don't try to return something from your graveyard to your hand. It'll just exile him and you won't get the card until they fix that. And we do have other ways, a couple of other ways to get things back, so it's best just to leave him in your graveyard. 1 Woodland Bellower, which we mentioned earlier, 1 Oblivion Sower, 1 Emeria Shepherd, and I've been very impressed with her as well. I didn't expect her to be nearly as good as she has been for me. In fact, there was one game when I played and emblemed Gideon 3 times in one turn using just casting him and an Evolving Wilds I already had out to fetch up a plane and then playing a planes from my hand. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, as the be-all end-all finisher, I suppose, if we can't finish any other way. Then for lands, we're running 2 plains, 2 swamps, 2 forests, 2 Shambling Vents, 2 Canopy Vistas. Oops, didn't mean to do that. 2 Woodland Cemeteries, 2 Isolated Chapels, 2 Sunpetal Groves, and then 1 of each Guildgate, Golgari, Orxhov, and Selesnya, as well as 1 Mortuary Mire. We don't usually use this on our small creatures, but something we need to get back that's pretty big, like the Greenwarden or Emeria Angel or Ulamog, something along those lines, and then 4 Evolving Wilds. And without further ado, let's go play. Alright, this is kind of an iffy hand. We do have 2 sweepers, and we have the Perilous Myr to hold the ground. In the meantime, I would love to have some draw or land fetch, but I think I'm going to keep this hand. Ideally, I would like to have an Elvish Visionary or a Gatecreeper Vine in my opening hand, but that's not the case here. I still think we may be able to be okay, and there's another Languish. We do need another mana to be able to cast that, but having them in hand is nice. Not sure yet what our opponent is running. All we know is they have, okay, so they are at least Simic, and there's the Elvish Visionary I wanted. Curse you, opponent. Stealing my cards. Aha, Selesnya Guildgate. Kind of tempted to just play that, but I think I want to get the Perilous Myr out. Then we can drop the Guildgate or the Evolving Wilds next turn. As it is, unless we draw, in the meantime, before turn 4, unless we draw a comes into play untapped land, we're not going to be able to Languish on turn 4 as it is, so. Ooh. So black as well. Nice. Wouldn't mind if they swung. I'd take out both of those Elvish Visionaries with my Perilous Myr. Ooh, Sunpetal Grove, but I do not have a Plains. I think I may fetch a Plains with my Evolving Wilds. We'll wait to do that, though. And then if we do that, our Sunpetal Grove will come into play untapped, and we could Languish next turn if we need to. Not for sure that will be necessary. Looks like our opponent's deck is on the controlling side of things as well. Oh, well, I did not manage to sack my Evolving Wilds at the end of turn. That's fine, though, because I don't want to play Languish anyway. I might have liked to have played a Frome Beyond, but we'll go ahead and sack this now. And we will get a Plains so that our Sunpetal Grove can come into play untapped next turn. And at the moment, I'm actually just content to sit back. They're not putting pressure on me. And I'm happy to just accumulate lands and try to get into the late game where this deck really shines. More Alchemist Files, and they can use these to keep us from attacking or blocking if they sacrifice it, as well as just cantripping and replacing itself in our opponent's hand. Alright, so they could have a counterspell in hand with 3 mana up. Let's go ahead and see if we can resolve a Frome Beyond, though. That would be really good if it sticks. Okay, nice. That doesn't mean that they couldn't just untap and play a Reclamation Sage to get rid of it, but it is there for the moment. Alright, we'll go ahead and sack this. I think I want a forest. Try to leave one of the forests in there in case we draw Nissa, because there are only 2 of each basic, and she can only fetch forests, so it'd be nice to be able to get a land with her if we do draw her. Opponent is not missing land drops either, so they're going to bounce the Frome Beyond. Okay. That's better for us than having it destroyed, though I would prefer it just to stick around. Alright, we'll finally drop our Sunpetal Grove, and I don't see any reason to do anything else except replay Frome Beyond. And once again, our opponent does not have a counterspell. That's great. We'll just pass the turn. Kind of playing draw go here, although our opponent is drawing a lot more cards than we are, with the Artificer's Epiphanies and other things. I wonder what their threats is. I'm kind of suspecting maybe Gaia's Revenge, although they could be running some Eldrazi. They seem to be one of the win conditions of choice for decks that aren't straight aggro in this format. If you'll remember, we ourselves are running an Oblivion Sower and an Ulamog. None of the others, though. Oh, are they trying to go reanimation of some sort? Possessed Scarab gets a spell back. And it's a good thing we're not missing our land drops. Could Greenwarden for an Evolving Wilds. I don't know that I want to do that. I think I'm still fairly content to just sit back for now. At some point, we may want to sacrifice our Frome Beyond for its search ability to get Ulamog, or maybe even Oblivion Sower. Though I'm kind of loath to get rid of the enchantment for something other than Ulamog. Usually pretty happy to draw the Oblivion Sower. Our opponent is on 8 mana. I don't foresee them attacking. They may. We'll pretty much wipe their board out if they do. And the scarab doesn't go to the graveyard. When it dies, it gets exiled, so there's that. Ooh, another Frome Beyond. Kind of reluctant to try to cast it into that much open mana with blue in the mix, though. What I may try to do is... try to bait out a counterspell maybe with some removal. Try to Bone Splinters that, sacking Perilous Myr. Kill that. I don't think our opponent really cares about that, but it was worth a try at least. They could have instant speed removal for our Shambling Vent, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to activate the Shambling Vent. No. Don't tap the Shambling Vent. There we go. Don't tap the Shambling Vent to turn itself into a creature, please. I'm just going to attack with both of these. Try to get some damage in on our opponent. No use in just sitting back doing nothing. We don't have effects to leave up. So why not be proactive? Did you get something with telling time? No. Good deal then. I'm going to try to cast this other Frome Beyond now that we've done all that. Good, it's stuck. Wow. I wonder if our opponent's just not running any kind of counter magic. Seems strange to me, but it could be the case. Ah, they are going to try to mill us. That's possible, although they have cast a lot of card draw already. Already cast 3 of their Artificer's Epiphanies, 2 Telling Times. Okay. What did we mill? Ob. Okay, that's not super bad in this matchup to have milled. Again, not horrible cards to be losing. At this point, we could maybe win on the back of Frome Beyonds if our opponent doesn't have a ton of card draw left to just mill us out over the next few turns. I think we want to get some beaters on the board. 6, 7, 8. We can cast both of these. If we do it correctly, we will search for a basic with our Gatecreeper Vine. Get a swamp. Play the swamp and then cast Greenwarden. Returning something. I guess we will return Ob. It's the most powerful card in our graveyard. Yes, please. Not for sure I want to be using the draw ability against a mill deck, but he can kill creatures as well. Maybe open the way for us to get in there. Now, I am kind of sad to see Emeria Shepherd go to the graveyard. She would have been super good against a mill deck. And again, though, I don't know what removal that they have. I would assume that they're at least, there we go, at least running 2 Languishes. I'll choose Guildgate, but then I'm going to say no, I don't want to. No. So that's it for our opponent this turn. Okay. Alright. I think our first order of business is to attack. That's fine. Go to combat. Get in there. And then we'll cast Ob, sacking one of our Eldrazi Scions. And we will use him to draw. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a halfway decent clock. between the two creature lands and the Frome Beyonds every turn. Got a Oblivion Sower sent to the yard. And our opponent can activate Sphinx's Revelation to draw and discard also. You know, there's Possessed Scarab. We may use Ob to just kill that guy to get him out of the way. Now we're going to get milled for at least 4 with the Artificer's Epiphany. And I think we may try to leave 2 mana up to sack a Frome Beyond and search for Ulamog this next turn. Now let's destroy the Scarab. Let's activate this guy. Yeah, that's fine. I can't really afford to activate the other one if I want to be doing that. Go ahead and attack with our 2 creatures. We know he has an Artificer's Epiphany. He or she has an Artificer's Epiphany in hand. And we can't afford to go ahead and cast Visionary. Alright, I am happy with this for now. Yep, Artificer's Epiphany. See what we mill. Hopefully it's not Ulamog. I could search in response. I'm going to search in response to this. Yes. That's just too much mill for me to be happy chancing losing Ulamog to it. Because he's going to mill at least 8 there. And if any of the pairs of 2 have matching colors, then that's even more mill. Okay. Yeah, we got to kill that Sphinx's Rev. And Ulamog is the boy to get the job done, it seems. Hopefully they can't just mill us out in response. Oh my god. This is not looking good for us. At least they don't have a second Sphinx's Rev on the board at the moment. Just going to pass? I suppose so. So the opponent has to discard something. Discard a land, most likely. Oh, a fog. Okay, so they have fogs too. That's not comforting to know. I'm just going to use Ob to kill this Scarab. Let him go to the graveyard. And then we shall cast Ulamog, exiling this and this. I'm going to bounce the Sphinx's Rev. Okay. Alright, attack with everything. I don't know if we can actually win this game at this point, but we're going to give it our best shot. They've not just the Sphinx's Rev in hand, but if our opponent has more fogs, then that's going to be really bad for us as well. Of course, we could just mill them out if they're not able to bounce Ulamog. If they're not able to mill... Oh my god, that's bad. So double Sphinx's Rev is horrible. Triple Sphinx's Rev. Shoot, man. If any of this stuff when he casts Artificer's Epiphany is matching in color, we're pretty much dead. Okay. Guess he's just going to set up this turn. Use one of these to keep Ulamog from attacking. Use one of the Alchemist's Vial. Seems like what they're going to do. See, 2, 4. Okay, what we need to do is Bone Splinters this guy, sacking this guy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hope he doesn't have a fog in hand. Yeah, use those. So he doesn't have a fog in hand. So we've got this, unless I've miscounted damage. No. Yes. Use those. I think that's it. 8 damage. That came down to the absolute wire. Good deal. On to the next one. Okay, this is an okay hand. It's a little bit slow with these lands, but I don't think I can throw it back for that reason. I'll play Sunpetal Grove and then hope to... Well, no, I shouldn't have. I should have played Evolving Wilds, sacked for a Forest or Plains, and then I could have played Sunpetal Grove untapped. That was a very bad misplay on my part. Wasn't thinking very clearly there. Go ahead and sack this then. Yeah, I could have been dropping a Gatecreeper or Elvish Visionary this turn. As it is, though, this allows me to get a swamp, which is actually what I was thinking and what made me not do that, but I shouldn't have, because I could have got a black mana with the Gatecreeper Vine. Sometimes it pays to take just a few more seconds to think about what you're doing before you actually play, so that's not bad then. We drew a Plains. I think I want to cast the Visionary in that case. That way we can play Gatecreeper Vine next turn and get a Guildgate and immediately play it. Mortuary Mire. Might want to go ahead and play that since we drew it this early. And I think that we will. We don't have a target for it, but that's fine. Would rather it be there to use instead of just sitting in my hand waiting for an appropriate target, because I definitely don't want to bring back Perilous Myr, Gatecreeper Vine, or Elvish Visionary with it. If it brought them back to my hand, I might consider that, but it puts them back on top of your library, and I don't know that I want to be drawing those over again. Alright, so we are looking at an Azurius tempo-ish deck, I believe. Not certain that's correct, but it seems to be. I think what we want to do is get Frome Beyond into play at this point. We've got land drop for next turn. We don't have to worry about that, so I think Frome Beyond is a better call than Gatecreeper Vine. Leave our Visionary up to block if it's not removed or bounced. Alright, we don't want our opponent to be getting the card draw from this Jessian Thief, so we will block there. Sky Spawner, okay. We may want to Planar Outburst here shortly. And I was hoping that my opponent was stuck on 3 lands, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Ooh, that's pretty nice. We'll play our Canopy Vista and 2 Perilous Myrs, I think. No, we'll play a Perilous Myr and an Evo Leap. I think that's going to be better. Alright, yeah, pass the turn. Don't want to sack my Scion yet. Okay, I would very much prefer if my opponent wasn't making their land drops, but what can you do? Guess you could play Acid Moss or something to kill their land, but not in this deck, I think. Ooh, putting something back? What are you targeting? Okay, I'm going to sack that to Evo Leap then. And we'll kill the Sky Spawner. Rather do that than to draw it again. Okay, Liliana's okay. They played that with Awaken. I do think we block this. Again, we do not want our opponent getting more card draw if possible. And Planar Outburst will not kill this because it's destroy all non-land creatures. So, trying to think exactly how we want to do this. For sure want to cast... Let's cast Gatecreeper Vine. We'll get our swamp here. Then we'll cast Liliana. And we could flip her right now. I don't know that that's for the best. We do risk removal on her if we pass the turn. But I think I want her there to block. And I also want the creature that I would sacrifice, the Gatecreeper Vine, able to block as well. So, just going to take that risk. There's Gideon. Yeah, and that's not super great for us. Gideon's pretty good. I imagine that, yeah, we'll be seeing both of these swing. So we will block the Thief with Liliana to gain some life. We'll block the 4/4 with the Gatecreeper Vine. And then we will sack it to Evolutionary Leap. That'll flip our Liliana, give us a zombie, and get something from that. Okay, so Felshbag Marauder. Do we have enough lands? Let's see. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9. So we should be able to... No, we got 8. 5. Yeah, we got enough to do this. Just got to make sure that one of what we leave open is black. Okay. Here's what we do. We will see if we can get in some damage. I don't expect we can. They probably block with this. No. Okay. Well, that's good for us then. We will then sack these guys for mana. And we'll cast Planar Outburst. We need to leave up a black. That will do. Yeah, just double checking to make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, not with Awaken. And then we'll play Felshbag to get rid of this land. And now we will plus Nissa, and I think we'll discard the Perilous Myr. I want the Frome Beyond and Nissa more than the Perilous Myr. We can flip Nissa next turn if he doesn't have instant speed kill. We're going to get smacked for 5, or he's going to probably kill Liliana. That's what I would do. Ooh, Disciple of the Ring is nasty. Yep. So Lily is going to die. No open mana to activate this Disciple. So we want to cast Nissa. We'll fetch a forest, flip Nissa, and then cast our Frome Beyond. And hopefully these 1/1 Scions will be enough to overwhelm our opponent. I don't know if that's the case, but we can hope. Greenwarden, that's not bad. Let's go ahead and cast our Frome Beyond. There we go. We have a Scion to block Gideon if there's no removal on our opponent's part. So they shouldn't... Well, no, they would be able to kill Nissa with pumping this if they do that. Hindsight, it might have been better to make a 4/4 off of this. I don't know, though. Or maybe to have played the Perilous Myr instead of the Frome Beyond. You know, both at that. We'll block Gideon. Yeah, we're going to pump that. Maybe I shouldn't block Gideon then, since they did it before I blocked. Yeah, there's no use in blocking at all now. I just lose my creature for no reason. If they had not pumped pre-block, then I would have blocked Gideon to force them to use an instant from their graveyard to pump. Okay, we got 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 11. I want to Greenwarden. What do I want to get back? Maybe... Do I have any... Well, I'm not sure. I think I want Felshbag, though. Yeah, I don't have any black mana left untapped. That was... Should have thought ahead again there. Yes. I really don't like the way that it auto-taps land for you. But we'll go ahead and play our Perilous Myr, which does tap us out to where we can't use Evo Leap, but... Go ahead and attack Gideon for 1 while we're able to. Next turn we may search up Ulamog, just depending. I don't know. I'm not for sure whether or not our opponent plays any counter spells of any ilk. We haven't seen any yet, but that doesn't mean they don't. Well, that's good. Tapping down to 2 mana if they don't play another land. We don't have to worry too much about that. If I'm not mistaken, Disciple can only counter non-creature spells. Yeah. Okay, so we play our land. Then we will search. That's fine. And we want Ulamog. And now we will cast Ulamog, targeting Gideon and Disciple. They are removed from the game. Thank you very much. And now I will swing with my non-Scion creatures. Okay, killing the Greenwarden, that's fine. We'll target Nissa. But we're not going to use it because of the glitch that's on here right now. It would just exile him from game and we wouldn't get it back. I've tried several times and that's the case. Okay, we're going to kill the one we can't block. The Sky Spawner. And I actually wouldn't be sad if our opponent bounced Ulamog. I would very gladly cast it again. All right, we still got 1/1 Frome Beyond pumping out tokens for us. Let's go to attacks. And we'll swing with the Ulamog. Hixus. Well, that's a thing. Though if we kill Hixus, we get we get Ulamog back, and it did exile 20 cards from our opponent's library. Almost tempted to search with Frome Beyond for Oblivion Sower and get all those lands. Don't think I'm going to do that, though. No, I'll just pass. I can block an Evo Leap with my Scions. I do have other sweepers in the deck, too. Yeah. Probably not a good idea to attack with that. We'll block with a Scion. And then pause and sack that. Yeah, that's fine. Tap that forest. Get a Visionary, okay. Potentially draw us into something else. Another Evo Leap. Guess we'll cast a Visionary. See what we draw. Another land. I want to hold that. That is a plains. If we draw our Angel, then that can get stuff straight from our graveyard back to the battlefield. I do think I want to sacrifice Visionary right now. Yeah, that's fine. Woodland Bellower. Okay. Well, I will cast that, or attempt to. Okay, that's good. Apparently our opponent is not running counter spells, just removal and bounce. Yes, use the ability. We will get another Visionary. Alright, there's a land for us to play this turn. And we'll pass. We should get there eventually with this board state as it is. But a matter of when. Our opponent could play something that makes it a lot worse for us, like that. So now we would very much like to hit a sweeper. I'm going to sack my Visionary. And I'm sacking the actual creatures instead, and there was a Languish on top. That's not good. But he is going to have to sacrifice either Hixus or the Angel to 2 Fleshbags. So let's cast... Yeah, let's cast a Fleshbag. We'll sack Scions ourselves. Well, for the first one, I think, yeah, I don't have a Fleshbag, so I want one of these Fleshbags to go to the graveyard. Yeah, that's fine. And I'll sack this Fleshbag to itself, or I can sack the other one, doesn't really matter. But I definitely want one in the graveyard. So we sacked the Angel. Then we will sack a Scion this time. For a Sage. It's not super useful. I think I do want to play Canopy Vista now. And pass the turn. Leave up some mana. Leave up some blockers. And we'll do some more deck searching come our opponent's end phase. And they're not going to attack with Prism Warden, I imagine, because it would have the chance of dying. Let's sack a Scion this time. We got Perilous Myr. And I do want to sack the other Scion. Gatecreeper Vine. Okay, it's more fodder. Alright, Bone Splinters, yay. Alright, let's Bone Splinters this guy, sacking a Scion. Good deal. Now we'll just drop Perilous Myr. And that'll be it for this turn. We'll swing for 3. And I think we've probably got this game. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Want to hold the rest of this in hand. Not really any real reason to cast it. Ulamog kills him 2 different ways when it swings. It'll mill all the cards out of his library and deal 10 damage, so to stay in this game, they have to deal with Ulamog right now. And they can't. Good deal. Just wait for our now AI opponent to pass the turn to us, and we'll end this game. Okay, Coastal Discovery, I guess with Awaken. And that is the ball game. Alright, no use to cast anything and waste time. Just go to combat. And I will see you in the next match. Okay, that's a lot of lands, but I'm actually fairly happy with this hand. I'm going to keep it. We'll start out with a Vent. Drop a forest and we can Gatecreeper. We got some removal. And hopefully we'll draw some other relevant things. Alright. Evo Wilds from our opponent. I'm going to sack right away. That's fine. Okay. Green is the prevalent color on Magic Duels at the moment. It's probably the best color in this format on this program. Yes, I want to use that ability, please. I would prefer to have something that doesn't come into play tapped. I guess another swamp. Since we do have enough white mana in our hand, we have enough black as well. Could have gotten a forest or a Guildgate, I suppose. It's debatable. There's only really one double green cost in the deck, and that's Woodland Bellower. Though I do want to be able to cast it if I draw it. No reason to Bone Splinters this guy. Now we got a Languish, so that's good. I'm just going to drop a Guildgate now, since we're not planning on casting anything. Pass the turn to our opponent and see what's up. Looks like either Elves or Golgari Control. Could have a third color in there. They could be Abzan or Splashing Blue or Red. Looks so far like it's straight Golgari of some description. Doesn't really affect how we'll play too much. Guess we'll go ahead and drop our other Guildgate since we drew it. That gives us our double green, so we are mana fixed if we don't get Acid Mossed. Which seems to be a very popular card on here at the moment. Lots and lots of decks running Monvuli Acid Moss. Looks like our opponent may be stuck on 3 lands though. Alright. We'll block one of these. Not too bothered at taking a damage. Nope, there's a 4th land. Alright, nothing then. Strikes me as a very controlling sort of thing. I think I want to flip Liliana. Alright. Yep, that's fine. And I hate to waste the Bone Splinters on a Visionary, but I do want to flip her, so... And we've got a blocker. Tempted to actually just minus her to bring back a Gatecreeper Vine. I think that's what I'm going to do. Then if we can manage to let her survive until next turn, we can start ticking her up. Yes, I want to use that ability. Go ahead and get our last Guildgate. And pass to our opponent. See what their response to this is. Continuing to make land drops. What do you have? Okay, so just casting it for the body. That's good for me because I do have relevant enchantments in my deck. Quite happy to see that, I think. Alright. I think I'm going to play a Guildgate. I'm going to tick Liliana up, and I'm going to discard a basic. Probably a swamp, since I have enough black mana. Planes are more relevant due to the angel that's in our deck. Okay. And I don't want to attack with my Shambling Vent because it would die. And I want my mana. Plus, it's pretty good on defense if he has some removal for the 2 creatures that are out there. Are we finally going to see a missed land drop from our opponent? Yes, we are. Thank you. That's good for us. That is also good for us. Hello, Oblivion Sower. Let's see what lands we get before, if any, before we drop one of our own. Yes. So we got a Sunpetal Grove. That's good. I will tick up and discard a Languish. Don't foresee myself casting it. Oh, so is our opponent... Our opponent actually does have white in their deck. They are missing their 3rd color. That's a good thing to know. And with 2 blockers, I'm going to go ahead and attack. Don't think we have any creatures to bring back with Liliana at the moment. Alright, chooses to trade with us. That's fine. Hopefully they do not have removal for Oblivion Sower. Though I wouldn't count on that. Yep, there's Bone Splinters. Kind of expected that. At least it does get rid of the elf. And we could potentially bring back Oblivion Sower with Liliana. It's not legendary. Getting some Gravedigger action going on. What are you getting? Visionary? Okay. That makes some sense. Nissa. Yes, please. Let's get the Planeswalker train rolling. Yes. And drop that Forest and Flipper. And Nissa pairs up pretty well with Liliana. We're going to reveal. Okay. Yeah. We will put that back on top. That is something I am happy to do. And then we will tick up. And I will discard my planes at this point. Want to keep the removal in hand. We have 2 blockers between the Shambling Vents and the Gatecreeper Vine. opponent discards Hixus. Seeing quite a bit of Hixus now. Didn't really see him before BFZ dropped that much. But we have seen 2 decks running Hixus so far, I think. See what you draw with Elvish Visionary here. You're actually getting fairly close to ultimating Liliana. Alright, chooses not to attack. Very wary of the Shambling Vent. And let's use Nissa first before we cast Oblivion Sower. Bone Splinters, I'm kind of iffy about that. Not super glad to see it, since I already have one in my hand. We will cast Sower, targeting our opponent again. Yes, I want those lands. Ooh, okay. I think I've got basics left. 1. Okay. Well, 1's better than none, I suppose. Let's discard one of these Bone Splinters. And then, if Lily lives through the turn without taking any damage, we can ultimate her next turn. And an ultimated Lily is pretty hard to deal with. We get an emblem that says whenever a creature dies, that's ours or our opponent's, we get it back at the end phase of each turn, theirs and ours. And emblems cannot be interacted with in any way. There's no getting rid of them once they're on the board. I had one guy try to cast a Relcaimation Sage to kill an emblem that I'd made. That does not work. I mean, you have to try to get to Lily there. Okay, I'm going to activate this guy. No. Thank you. I don't know why it always tries to tap the Shambling Vent to turn itself into a creature. I'm going to double block. Just in case they have a wild size or something like that. We guess they're going to kill the vine. That's fine. Just didn't want them to trample over and prevent me from ultimating Lily. Which is absolutely what I'm going to do. -8. Get an imp. What did I do? I didn't click on discard. But I guess we're discarding. That's fine, I suppose. That sucks. I absolutely clicked down here. I guess it just didn't register. That annoys me a lot of times about this program. Well, let's plus Nissa, I suppose. Thank you. Guess that makes up for it a little bit. Yes. Give me a visionary, please. And we're not going to attack. We will cast that. Or not cast it, but drop it. I mean, it doesn't have any effect, but our opponent doesn't know that. I suppose we could have held it to interact with our angel. Would bring something back to our hand from the graveyard. Next time I'll go a little bit slower with Lily and make sure it's actually showing that I'm activating her ultimate. It really makes me upset. Oh well. Just gotta live with it, I suppose. What are you getting with your Bellower? A Visionary, maybe? Looks like their deck is actually kind of similar to what we're running. I mean, they've made some different choices, but same concept, it seems. All right. This one, I'll click the arrow instead of the text. Yes, give me an emblem. And I'm going to swing first. Yeah, confirm attack. I don't care whether they block or not. Either is good for me with this emblem out. And now I'm going to Bone Splinters their Bellower with my Bellower, and I will get them both back and get both triggers at the end of turn. Yep. Our opponent sees what's up. We will plus Nissa, and we can ultimate her next turn and definitely win the game. That's fine. In fact, I'm going to Evo Leap and Perilous Myr and sack both of these before our end step as well. And there's Ulamog. Wow. We're just drawing nuts. 2 to our opponent. What do we get with this one? Okay, Fleshbag's fine. We'll just pass and get all this stuff back. Including comes into play triggers. Draw. Bellower. Yes. And get another Visionary. Another Bellower. Yes. And get another Visionary. And I really don't see how our opponent could possibly get out of this now. Of course, it's not human player anymore, it's the AI. Our human opponent pretty much saw the writing on the wall. Getting back Hixus. Not going to live that long. We'll probably cast Ulamog just to make sure we get enough damage so I don't have to sit here and count it up. Drop Vista. Cast Ulamog. Get rid of the creatures. If this game was going to last longer, I wouldn't do that because if they're not exiled, I would get them. But this is the end of the game. Let's ultimate Nissa just for fun. Untap 6 lands. And yeah, that's a lot of damage. And that's all she wrote. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you dislike it, leave a dislike. Let me know what you think. Consider subscribing to the channel. I put out lots of content every week, including Magic the Gathering every Friday, and some surprise videos, I guess, throughout the week like this one as well. But until next time, be excellent to each other.